Hello and welcome back to Factorio Tightening the Belt Megabase Guide. I'm Xterminator and thank you for joining me again. What we're going to do today is a little bit of circuit network work. There we go. That's a great way to say it. Circuit network stuff, and we're also going to throw some beacons down, I think, on certain parts of our factory, and I'd also like to get assembling machine 3s automated. So on the comments of last episode, you guys mentioned, or asked rather, why I wasn't using assembler 3s, and the answer is I had not built them yet, but we should start building them. And then also some suggestions with using beacons now that we have quite a lot of power, and also doing some sort of limiter on our production of uranium, because it keeps backing up and I keep adding chests, which is really just like a band-aid and a really bad one at that. So we need some way to limit it, and I want to mess around with the circuit network here a little bit. It'll be pretty straightforward. And then also, speaking of the circuit network, somebody asked if I plan to cover like any smart systems or anything like that. Aside from the type of thing I'm about to do here, probably not much more advanced than that, because as I've mentioned before, I am not great with the circuit network myself. There are some tutorials out there on YouTube. Shred Guy has some great ones. Gep1 used to, but he deleted all his Factorio videos. There's probably some more, so I'm sure you can find them. But so we're building up tons and tons of this, and we need these guys to only work like when this is low, right? So off the top of my head, the first way to do this, the main way I'm thinking of to do this, is to connect our chest here that we're outputting into and then outputting from, is connect it with a wire and then connect it to all of our output inserters and set a condition that way, right? So first off, we need to take a wire, doesn't matter, red or green, doesn't matter. We need to connect to this chest and then connect to the pole. And again, we're using the poles just to cover distance. They don't actually they transmit the circuit network over themselves, but they're not like actually giving any conditions or anything. So this guy's connected, and it's transferring the contents of this chest over here. You can see there when we mouse over it on red. Now, if we were to wire this with green wire as well, it would also show it in green. You can see down there to represent the green condition. So to unhook a wire, I haven't covered this. You just need to take a wire in your hand of the same kind and then just unhook it. Just do like you would to connect it, and it undoes it. That stumped me for the longest time on how to do that. So we're just going to span this over here, and then we're just going to connect between these inserters, and you can see they're all going red and stopping because they currently have no condition, so they don't know what to do. But we can go in here, and we're just going to set a very basic condition of if uranium-238 is less than, say, 500 in this chest, it's going to work, and it's not. It's 700 and something. So this just reads this, right? It just reads contents. So now we just need to Control-Shift copy and then paste, 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 and paste. I could just drag it as well. So these now all have the same condition, and this is now stopped, right? So this shouldn't really back up because it is using this, right? Because this is consuming 3 to get the extra 1 of the good uranium. So this is consuming it. But once this does reach below 500, then these will kick back on until it hits that point, and it'll kind of just keep doing that. So it shouldn't like majorly overflow again, because this works fine as long as this chest isn't backed up. So when this backs up, that we have a problem. Now I could limit this as well, but really I don't see a reason to. I just want tons and tons of this. I mean, it will back up eventually, but we're quite a ways off from that. In fact, to even give that more room, I'm going to give it a steel chest, even more slots. Okay, so that takes care of that. Just very simple. You can span circuit conditions through power poles, and that's why on railways you may see on some more advanced bases and in blueprints and such, you may see rail blueprints that have the big power poles with circuit wires on them, and that's just so you have a circuit network spanning your rails if you need it. Right, if you need to transmit some sort of like condition from an outpost or to an outpost and vice versa, or to different parts of like your base, if you're doing some sort of like segregated towns type of style, you can just do it through your rail network, which is already wired up perfectly. Okay, so next thing is assembler 3s. We have unlocked them, and they're pretty straightforward. They're just assembler 2s and then speed module 1s. Now we're already making assembling machine 2s up here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make them up there, and we're going to use the bots a little bit to transfer it. Like I said, we're going to do a little bit of bot transportation in this base, but not like full-on robot production like I normally would do. Okay, so I mean, we could of course make them over where speed models are, but then we'd have to make simpler 1s and 2s there, which seems a little bit silly to me when we're already making them. Now we could again transport the assembler 2s all the way down, but there's not, it's like the same distance, it doesn't really matter. So we have speed modules here being made for this, and we have these being made for this. Now these are ratioed, however we're not always going to be building a rocket. Well, at some point we will, but not with this setup. So I'm actually going to pull off of this. So what we want is we want a couple chests. I'm just going to pull off of this area here. And actually I could do it at the end of this build, but it's farther away, and well, really you should do it at the end. We should do it at the end. That's good practice. We'll do it that way. So I'm going to just bring this off here. We don't need to do like a priority splitter thing because I'm just going to grab right here, just right past that. But what we do need to do is set a filter. We could do a priority thing or just set this to only pick up speed modules, which luckily it did start with. And then put that in there, and he needs to connect, and he's stopped again because he has no condition yet. Connect to this less than, let's just say like 50. Okay, now there's no robo network here, so we're gonna need to make a couple of these. Of course, have to craft all the gears. All right, so I'm just gonna try to bring this over like here-ish. And let's see. Once this makes, we should be able to connect this. And I think we had robo ports here, which were connecting all the way. Now this is gonna be a bit of a flight, but it should be doable. And in fact, we can just get one here. So it's gonna be a little bit of a long flight, but not too bad. Now something, I'm not sure if I corrected this quite a long time ago in the series when I first set up the robot network, when I first started putting down roboports. I had mentioned like how it was weird because they didn't, because they were like in weird paths here. Just to clarify, if I hadn't already, the robots will path outside, like they don't have to just go like boom, 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 like per roboport. They'll fly like however they want. Like I guess the shortest distance as a crow would fly, just a straight path, but they obviously have to veer off to charge because they're not going to make this whole route with one charge. So they have to veer off to do the charge. But just to clarify, they're not going to have to go from like one roboport to the next unless, you know, they only go when they have to charge. Okay, so that takes care of that. Now we just need to come up here, and we're just going to place a guy right here making these, and he's just going to grab from this, and then we'll have him actually output. And really, we should have stuff in logistics chests over here, although we're not really going to be using too many more assembler 2s. We could though. We'll just put one there, it doesn't really hurt. And I'm just going to hard cap this. We don't really need more than a stack at this point. So I'm just doing a mixture of, you know, circuit condition, logistics condition, hard caps, and that's just kind of me being random and personal preference, I guess. You know, you don't have to do one way or the other. A hard cap or a circuit condition at 100 is going to accomplish pretty much the exact same thing. So we want to then power this. So he's going to do that, and then we also need something requesting. So let's go ahead and have him here and make a requester. Like that, and then we'll just request some speed modules. This takes 4, so probably want to request a multiple of 4. We'll just do like 12. We don't need these like super fast. That's actually a very long distance. We probably want to do more than that. Let's do like let's see, 4 times 8, 4 times 7, 4 times 6. Let's just do 24. I had 24 in my head, and then I was like, wait, does that divide by 4? Using my multiplication tables here. All right, so we've got that done. This is actually going a lot quicker than I thought. So you can see how these guys are just flying direct, even though there's no roboports. But if we actually watch them, let's watch them here for a second. They're going to have to veer off to charge at some point, unless, can they actually make this flight in one charge? That would be impressive. I don't think so. They can actually, wow, okay. That is very impressive. Oh, nope. They got right there. and then had to charge. Oh my gosh. See, that they were literally like right about to reach down and grab it and then had to charge. That definitely does happen. Okay, so this guy is at 42%. We're low on rocket fuel, so let's start with the beaconing there, in which we have none of these, which means a lack of steel, it looks like. Let's actually grab some more steel. I want to try to find a pure steel belt. Here we go. I was feeding this. This is not, or hand feeding it, not the best option. But, I mean, again, the rocket fuel is ratioed to the same as the others. It's just that the others got quite a large head start. Now, someone also mentioned, they said I should be doing direct insertion of solid fuel to rocket fuel because it is actually a 1-to-1 ratio. If we look here, this guy takes 3 seconds and you get 1, right? So you get 1 every 3 seconds. This takes 30 seconds, so in 30 seconds you will produce 10 of this, and this takes 10, so it's a perfect 1-to-1. Normally, like when I do a much bigger build, I will do direct insertion, but I didn't really see, I mean, I could have done it here, but I just didn't want to. And this belt is fine, because at the speed that these create, it's not like this belt is limiting our throughput. So obviously, so with it being a 1-to-1 ratio, these are not really enough to support these necessarily, although they may be, actually they may be close now, because this is a 1.25, and with the modules we brought this down to 0.5. But the other thing is that I did box this up a ton of this, remember? So this is fine now. I did also mess this up a bit. Doesn't really matter, like I said, it's not limiting our throughput. But we can just do some beacons. Now, I'm not going to go like all out here on this. In fact, I think what I'm going to do is just something like this. And the last one, I guess, I mean, we could do a beacon for it. And the reason I'm not going all out is because we don't need to, and I just want to give it a little boost to try to catch it up. Now, we have level 1 speed modules. We also have 2s and a few 3s. But even this is a speed of 20%, which brings us back to 0.8, which is actually faster than it was originally. But now that I'm looking at this, I may want to go get some level 2s. Level 1s are a little bit lackluster. Research, I'm not really doing research because, I mean, there's not much to, we could get a few things. Landmines. So the braking force, this is an interesting. This allows your trains to slow down faster, allowing them to stay at higher speeds longer. So I was going to explain it, but this explanation is actually pretty much dead on. So yeah, it's pretty much that. Since they can brake faster, which means that they don't have to slow down as quickly, and they can stay at higher speeds longer, which is quite nice. It does make them very terrifying, more so than normal, especially for me. But anyway, research, personal road port 2 would actually be something good to grab. So we'll get that started. Power is just doing great. And let's see, how many level 2s do we have here? I'd throw them quite a bit. Actually didn't throw that many in here. Okay, we're all backed up on prod modules at this point. I mean, the level 1s are fine. It does pick it up a bit. I mean, this guy is at 44%. Yeah, it's really okay, maybe we are gonna go out all beacons. Let's just go all out on the beacons. Just if we have the power, I really want this to catch up because the other things are backed up and it's just taking forever waiting for that rocket fuel. So we're just going to just go all out here. So what we want to do then is, as I discussed when I first went over beacons, is we want these staggered, meaning not directly lined up like this. Okay, that's done. Atomic bomb, it's a little expensive right now. Artillery, I did want to head towards artillery. This is 2K. I may want to wait till we're done with the rocket for that, just because it's a very expensive thing and we do want quite a lot of our resources going towards a rocket. But yeah, so see how these are, well, they would have been staggered. Well, this is staggered-ish, except I did it wrong. We ran out of beacons too. I was talking about something else and trying to build something different than what I was talking about, and this is what happens. So staggered, meaning like that. So see, I'm getting it so it's the farthest away it can be while still touching, and then you draw this out, and you end up with something like that. Now, really, should probably be doing it the other direction, having the ones in the front have the most beacon coverage, but let's do that, and I'm pretty sure we have enough modules. Or not. Alright, so you can see now, I mean, these guys, 130% speed, 1.725 speed, which is more than double their base speed, even with productivity in them. I mean, you can definitely tell a speed difference. Now this, well, double-sided, it'll be fine. So this should hopefully pick this up a bit. Now it's a very long stretch as well, so there's a big lag time with this, but that's probably fine. I mean, I guess we could research artillery. It's it'd be something fun to play with, and we're not using that many resources, right? Yeah. Okay, let's just do it. So artillery is going to give us the artillery wagon, the artillery turret, artillery shells, and artillery targeting remote. Now the interesting thing about this is that like the research is the most expensive part. The actually the wagon and the turret, as you saw in the ammo, really isn't that expensive. So this is the main investment. Once we get this, then we'll be in pretty good shape, and we can start bombarding guys from a long way away. Although we've done a very good job clearing them out. I mean, this one is close to aggroing, but really, on the revealed area, there's not much. Speaking of the revealed area, I should have put. Well, there's a radar here. Should probably have put like several radars at each outpost, honestly, to scan faster. Oh, hey, we even got little lights on the thing. That's really nice. It's up to 50%. It's just this rocket fuel takes forever, man. But you can see here when it puts this one in, so you can see this productivity bar progressing. I mean, this makes a huge difference having this productivity in here. There we go. This is starting to be a better flow of rocket fuel right here. Alright, and power, I mean, that did definitely bump up our power usage, but, you know, we're at not quite halfway. And let's check our processing, make sure we didn't break something. Looks to be in good shape. We have tons and tons of this, tons of that. These guys are cranking along. Right, I thought I ran out of something and hadn't finished this. I guess I did finish this. Alright, cool. So we've got that. Now, we could start prepping for the artillery shells, because they're going to take explosives and explosive cannon shells, which are going to, well, take explosives. So actually, yeah, let's get some explosives being made. These guys are made in a chemical plant, and they just take sulfur, coal, and water. So they're actually very simple. Now, the sulfur, I'm not quite sure how we want to do this. We could just make, I mean, because this is ratioed, not that we're ever going, well, at some point we're going to use this amount of battery production. I prefer not to throw off this ratio, so I think we're just going to make a separate sulfur guy, just like right here. I mean, we have the water and the petroleum. So, whoop, yeah, that's what I wanted. Gonna do this and then make him, so he takes 5 seconds, and this one takes 1 second and gives us 2, and this takes 1. Wow, so, I mean, this can support, what, 10 of these? If my math is correct, this should be able to support 10 of these. And I mean, this takes 5 seconds. Okay, maybe we want a bit more of these. And then coal. We have coal somewhere. Coal over here. I'm not really sure. Now this is actually, I'm a little bit concerned. We don't want our coal to run out, and we could probably just switch entirely to nuclear and just turn off the steam and devote all of our coal to powering like our furnaces and the whatchamacallit, the furnaces and this and the oil. So how are we going to do this? This is going to export. We could actually change my mind on what I wanted to do. Okay, so what we want is some water. Now this should be more than enough water, so we can actually just bring this over like that. Bring him over like that. Do that, like so. Let's make a few more of these. Again, we can just do a straight line here. Now he will need coal, which I'll get somewhere somehow. In fact, I want to move this a little bit just to give this a bit more room. All right, so we've got you here. This one is gonna, oh, this one's gonna come over as I mismeasure it. Perfect. And as you can see, I mean, this Q, this pipette tool is really, really nice once you get the hang of it. Okay, now these are going to need coal and sulfur, and really, It's only one of each. We could just share line, actually. Because this is going to output somewhere. Let's have him... We'll see what side he outputs on. Should output on that top side, or bottom. Yeah, bottom side, right? That's what I said. That's what I meant. So there's that. And then coal could just come in and merge like that, and it will side load perfectly. So coal... Gonna have to come from over here somewhere. I don't really want to pull off the end of this line, not that I could anyway. So I think we're going to do another splitter here, which not the best thing ever, but it is doable. And really, we could run. This is getting messy really quick. I mean, honestly, I am truly impressed whenever I see a actually like nice organized oil setup. I have seen them, but they are very rare. It is very difficult to do like a very well organized non-spaghetti oil setup, and if you are able to do that, major props to you. But if you're not, then don't feel bad, because everybody, even like some of the most experienced people I know, just, you know, when they have to do one on the fly, which is what I did here, it looks pretty much like this. So in fact, this is one of my more organized ones. Now obviously we have blueprints and stuff, the Megabasers that we use, which, you know, we spent hours designing and getting to look nice and be perfect, but that's not what we did here. Okay, so this is gonna go, and then we need an output of some sort. So power pole is obviously just right in the way, as always. But this should be easy enough. Stick that there, and this guy is gonna output. And these trees, man, these are some ugly trees too. I don't even know, we don't want these here. In fact, they even get this treatment. Again, pressing C to target. And, I mean, this is a lot of explosives, but we want a lot of cannon shells, man. I'm just going to do, like, a couple rows. They stack in 50s. Because the artillery things take 8. And we need explosive cannon shells, which also take explosives, obviously. They take plastic, excuse me, and steel. Steel is something we do not have up here. I wonder, actually, we have a robo network here. Why don't we just do this? And then we could, because we have plastic and steel somewhere else on the bus, we could just bring those down and have the artillery. We could actually have like a little military area, now that I think about it. That may not be a bad idea. Just have like a little military area somewhere. And this is just like slower than molasses. What is going on here, man? They're just slow. How's our rocket doing? We're at 71%. That's pretty good. We're getting close, guys. Next episode will be a launch. I can tell you that much. And speaking of next episode, I think we should end here. 23 minutes. That's about all the stuff I want to do. Although, hold on. See, this is what I'm concerned about. This coal is very lackluster. Okay, so the coal... Wow, what a mess. We're sending... Yeah, I mean, really... It's not a full belt because these aren't unloading full belts because of the circuit thing. Although they should be full belts because this is backed up, so it should be sending like the rest through here, right? Okay, well this comes down. I want to see, like, where is this all being eaten? So it's being split. Part's going to oil, okay. And the other half is going here. It's looking real thin though. Like, I mean, this is backed up, but I don't even know what we need this coal for, but... Oh, I guess we're okay. I just get a little nervous when I see belts that are like 3/4 empty. But I think that's going to do it for this one, guys. Artillery is halfway done. It's going to be chewing through resources, but we will get there. Should be done by next episode. Youch. We are low on red, green, just out of inserters. Come again? What? That's interesting. I'm not entirely sure why. It must be backed up, or not backed up, lacking input speed on something. Because, like, this takes the same amount of belt as inserters. What's going on here? But we're also out of military, which is no surprise because it's eating all of the iron for the turrets. Is making, like, 2 machines are making turrets. So, that's why we're out of those. But it'll get there. It'll get there for sure. And really, we should actually then probably put productivity in these labs because they are eating so much. Let's do that really quick before I end. I have it in my head. We'll put productivity 2s. This will slow them down, but we'll get more for our resources. This is going to take a lot. There are more productivity 2s down here. On the belt there are. I mean, we could just start with like the first some, because the packs aren't even making it to the end anyways. These are actually fully going-ish. No, they are. They're chugging along nicely. They're just, that's as fast as they can go. Alright, let's pick some of this up, as if all we need is more resource suction. Wow, that is, okay, I did not quite need that much. I'm just going to dump them on the belt, because the belt is what's backing up to stop production. I'm just going to dump some there, hitting Z. Alright, let's go dump these in and then call an episode. This will help. Again, it will slow down the labs quite significantly. We could beacon them on the outside. They are in such a way that we could throw beacons on the outside as well, if we wanted to. We do have lab research speed, and I guess we should just put them in everything. This will save research, or whatever resources. Yeah, I mean, these are like, they're actually not that slow. I mean, they're slow, but they're not too slow, and it will make a difference for sure. Anyway, that's going to do it, guys. As always, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Any questions, comments, do leave down below. I'll do my best to read and respond. But until next time, I look forward to seeing you all, and do take care.